Yes, you heard me right. They had to pay a mediator as well because they were fighting over these items during mediation. Have you ever wondered how that cherished gift from your grandmother might fare in a divorce settlement here in Georgia? Well, today we're exploring how gifts are treated when you're going through a divorce. Let me make it easier for you by telling you a story about Jane and John. After a 10-year marriage, they decided to part ways. Throughout their marriage, they received numerous gifts, but Jane's grandmother had given her a vintage necklace on their 5th anniversary, which was a family heirloom that had been passed down through generations. When the divorce proceedings started, John claimed to share that necklace, arguing that it was marital property. He didn't go so far as to suggest that it should be cut in half and each get a physical portion of the necklace. Instead, he argued that it should be appraised and sold, with each of the parties getting half of the value. Jane was horrified at the thought of parting with such a sentimental piece. Now, this is where understanding Georgia's divorce laws becomes crucial. Georgia operates under the equitable distribution principle, which might sound like everything is split 50-50, but that's not the case. Equitable means fair, and when it comes to gifts, the law has a clear stance. Generally, gifts given to one spouse by a third party are considered separate property. This means that they're not up for division in a divorce, but, and this is a big but, the context matters a lot. If that gift from grandma was always intended just for Jane, then it's likely to be seen as just her separate property. However, if John can prove that the necklace was used and enjoyed by both as part of their marital life, the court might consider it differently. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Gifts between spouses during the marriage enter a gray area. These gifts can actually be considered by the court as marital property, especially if they were significant and used or enjoyed by both parties. Here's the key. The intent behind the gift and its use throughout the marriage will play a big role in how it's treated in a divorce. For example, a new car given by one spouse to the other would most likely be considered marital property to be divided in the divorce, but perhaps a tennis bracelet or a set of golf clubs given between the parties will be considered separate or will be considered technically marital, but not subject to division. That's probably a more accurate analysis on that one. Now, you might be thinking, what can I do to protect gifts in a divorce? Well, first off, documentation is key. Keep records of who gave the gift, the occasion, and any indications that it was only meant for you and not your spouse. If it's a family heirloom, having a paper trail could be invaluable. Additionally, if you're not yet married, consider a prenuptial agreement that clearly states how gifts will be treated in the event of a divorce. If you're already married, consider a postnuptial agreement. This stuff is very nuanced, and while parties usually don't get into major battles over division of gifts in a marriage, I've had several that did. And yes, even the big battle over who keeps the washer and dryer that actually cost the parties more in attorney and mediator fees than the items were worth. Yes, you heard me right. They had to pay a mediator as well because they were fighting over these items during mediation. Here's my advice. Don't be one of these people who spend more on fighting for something than it's actually worth. I've seen this happen over video game consoles, electronics, dishes, art, but thankfully that only happens in about 1% of cases. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to click subscribe, like, follow, and turn on the alerts so that you'll get notified when Please share these videos and leave us some comments, ask us questions, tell us what other topics you'd like for me to talk about. Join our Facebook group at Georgia Divorce and Custody for even more information. And as always, I look forward to seeing you on the next video.